All right, 2-2 games. Energy Imperial. That was actually not the start of the day. The start of the day was fl0m Faze. Faze looked like they didn't want to play in the major again, and once again they had incredible plot armor and bounce back, and they will now be winning the major. fl0m at least won a map after going 2-0, so that's good. I think Faze honestly just got incredibly lucky drawing fl0m in this moment, and I'm not even trying to be a hater right now. That's just how I feel. I feel like they got really lucky to play fl0m out of all the teams. Maybe NRG was the only other weaker team, but hey, you know, that's how it goes sometimes, and they still won the game, so that's all that matters. NRG versus Imperial, the game that I needed for my Pickems. This is what I get. It's okay. This is why I told everybody to not include NRG, but I was including them because of my cope and North American pride. It killed my Pickems, and I deserve this. It's okay. The game was honestly not very close. Imperial just looked like a far better team. They were pretty much outclassed across the board. To cope on their behalf, I think Imperial isn't as bad as they play most of the time, but also I just think like the energy situation just is unfortunate and unlucky, and that's just how it goes sometimes. I'm not really trying to give them like a full-on pass, but yeah, it just was not a good situation. But Imperial makes it through, and next up was Parivision Legacy, and that was for sure the match of the day. Ancient was close in score, but I personally feel like when I was watching that, like Parivision just felt like they had control of that game. To me, most of the time they were the ones dictating a lot, with Legacy needing some strong individual moments to even get to 9. Same, Inferno was basically the same thing, but Legacy just absolutely shat all over Parivision. And then when it came to Dust 2, we actually had an incredible game. I started calling out Parivision for looking nervous, and then as soon as they hit the second overtime, they just looked like they hit the ground running. It's like they finally believed in themselves. It just took them 2 OTs, and Legacy didn't close them out, and that's honestly on them, dude. That is on them, especially when you consider how Legacy came up through the ranks last major. You would feel like they're maybe a little bit more ready for this type of situation, to be honest. But they weren't able to do it. They didn't. That should have been their bread and butter, to be honest. I feel like that they, out of teams in these scenarios, there's not many more teams in Counter-Strike that have experience in this moment. So to kind of wrap up stage 1, for my Pickems at least, never put Faze 3-0, but whatever. I didn't know who to pick 3-0, and I definitely wouldn't have picked the correct 3-0s for this stage. I could confidently tell you I was not going to put M80 or FlyQuest 3-0. Should have coped harder for NA, but in typical fashion, NA did everything they could to make sure I got 0 points in my Pickems. So shout out North America. Love you guys. Great job. Faze looked like garbage. For everybody's entertainment's sake, I hope they don't look like that going forward. FlyQuest looks good. I'm always nervous because I feel like they're relying on Regali's individual form, especially as they play better teams. I think, similar to FaZe Clan getting to play fl0m, I'm not trying to dog on FlyQuest. Getting fl0m for the 2-0 game, my God. Like, I think their win versus Legacy was really good, and they have a lot of experience, and then they got to play Imperial in a BO1, and then they got fl0m. I don't know. I get worried. I don't want to sound like a hater to the Aussies, but when they play some of these other teams, I feel like if Regali doesn't have a really strong performance, they're not going to have as good of a time. FaZe Clan, Buns, hopefully less Buns. Linvision, holy shit. Dare I say, maybe the biggest disappointment of the tournament so far. And I'm not trying to... I know Amelia cried, and everybody's sad, but man, dude, they looked so bad. They lost 13-5. 13-2, and they lost to the Huns. They didn't break double digits for a team that had as good of a run in the last major to this one. I feel like that's got to be... I know Legacy is the highest rank coming in here, and them being out, that probably should be the biggest disappointment. But the fashion in which Linvision went out was really heartbreaking, man. That was rough. Bait looks good, and as long as they don't mentally boom, which is a complete coin flip, they can beat pretty much any team in stage 2. Very dangerous team. Very annoying team for Pickems as well. Ooh, wait, but then I said biggest disappointment. Then I said Linvision, but Gamer Legion was... Gamer Legion didn't lose as hard, but it wasn't great either. My God. Fnatic versus Red Cannons. Let's see. I'm just going down the list of trying to go through like how group stage. fl0m exceeded expectations, played Faze close today. I didn't really watch them too much coming into this though, so I didn't really know where to place them. I just wasn't going to put a team with Art 03. That was pretty much all I knew in my head. Fnatic, I know people are hate watching with Cypher. They look pretty good. That roster is relatively stable. I think that's a team that could like make it through on the last day in stage 2, maybe. Red Cannons, kind of as expected, played spoiler for 03, and that was kind of it. I mean, obviously they almost ruined Faze's day. That would have been absolutely nuts, insane, but kind of did as expected, I guess. The Huns overperformed. I had them 0-3, and then beating Vision for that game fucked up my Pickems, but yeah, just kind of hammered home the point that Vision didn't look great stage 1. NIP looked better than I thought they would. I was actually a big hater of NIP. I felt like they were incredibly weak, and a lot of people overvalued them. Obviously, I was wrong. They made it through pretty easily as well. Yeah, I don't know. I don't, when I watch that team, I just don't think they're very good, but I could just be like some sort of North American hater. Imperial and Rara and Energy, obviously, you know, I've talked about their situation a billion times. Everybody knows their situation. It was just kind of cooked. And I think especially when they went 2-0, I think the 2-0 was a blessing and a curse, because in some ways, wow, they went 2-0. In other ways, they're like, wait, we might be able to do this. And I feel like that just, as soon as the expectations or like reality shifted, they're like, and pressure. Rare Autumn, I didn't really get to watch many of their games, but I had them 0-3, and they, unfortunately for them, performed as expected, I guess. Overall, though, like, biggest winners of this stage, like teams that impressed me the most, as much as I'm dogging on them, like, I am impressed that FlyQuest went through 3-0. Like, that's still, like, they handled fl0m, you know what I mean? Obviously, I'm impressed by M80. I think M80 getting to play NRG, especially with the situation, was pretty good for them. Parivision beating Legacy impressed me. I actually had them going through. I think they had a tough draw, especially when you look at the teams Parivision played. Outside of the Huns, I feel like Parivision, they played M80, they played Bait, they played Gamer Legion, and they played Legacy. I feel like they actually had a really strong run. With 4 rookies, that was some good stuff. NIP exceeded my expectations, so that caught me by surprise. That might not have surprised other people, but for me, I was like, all right, you guys are playing better than I thought you were. Like, so probably those teams, like, yeah, that'd probably be the ones that really caught me off the most. I can't believe M80 went through 3-0. I can when I see who they played for the best of 3, but beating Bait and Parivision, and I know the scores were close, but if you remember those games, they had huge leads, and they let like Parivision was down like by like 6 rounds, I think, or 5, and Bait was down similar, and they almost threw the games, but they closed them out. Like, they look good overall, though. Man, Faze looks like ass. That's Faze is in stage 2, but Jesus Christ, if Brokey drops like another 0.8 rating, I don't think they can do shit. Teams that I'm hopeful for in stage 2 that are coming from this stage have got to be M80, but I don't like their map pool, and Parivision and Bait. Fnatic maybe, and I'm still hating on NIP, even though they impressed me. It's just hard, man. I don't know what it is. I watch that team and I'm just not feeling it. I don't know what it is, bro. Why am I a hater? M80 versus Aurora. Oh, shit. Fuck. Oh, shit. Passion versus Faze. I'm talking all this shit on Faze, and I'm going to watch Brokey drop a 2.0 on Passion, and I'm going to cry. MIBR versus Imperial. What the hell is this? How did they manage that? Tyloo versus Parivision is really fun. That's a fun one. Astralis NIP. Oh, fuck me. Liquid will lose to Bait. I'm calling it now. Liquid will lose to Bait. I'm calling that shit right now. Liquid 03? Nah. In this stage, we'll see. We'll see.